This is eviL Pacers Recap Live. Or is it? The Pacers have increased their win total by 50% over their last 3 games and since the last time we had a show. 3 straight wins, and they still have the best lottery odds that you can have. So all in all, dubs all around right now. I'm your host, Derek Kramer, my co-host, Kyle Taylor. How you feeling? How you feeling, Kyle?
I am feeling slightly less evil, Derek. I don't want to get my hopes up too high, but 3 in a row, and really, it's like hard to put my finger on it. There are plays here and there where Quentin Jackson is like sprinting in the backcourt to dive for a loose ball, where you see flashes and glimmers and flickers of the Pacers team, of times gone by. And that, as much as anything, feels good. there are times when I watch the cadence of the offense and Andrew Nemhard in the flow and in the rhythm, whipping passes around to Aaron Nesmith and Jay Huff in the way it just looks right. It just looks right. And I haven't felt that way all year.
The 3-pointers are going in. I mean,
yeah. I mean,
sometimes
there's some
it's
luck.
that simple. I feel like for
yeah. There's some luck happening here. Okay, there's some luck happening here. But the basketball is definitely going through the basket, which is a very good adjustment, especially compared to early in the season when it seems like Rick wasn't telling them to put the basketball in the basket, which is a mistake, obviously.
Right. I mean, yes, tank commander job supreme, just tell your players to miss shots. Apparently, no. I know at one point early in the fourth, the Pacers were 14 of 29 from three, and the Celtics were 7 of 29 from three, and they were still only ahead by 2 points. So, like, doubling the Celtics up in the threes. They ended the game not quite doubling, but they made 7 more threes than the Celtics did. Celtics only went 9 for 35. Pacers went 16 for 37. And they finished the job with Pascal Siakam hitting the clutch shot with 6 seconds left, floating it off the backboard. It felt like he was kind of joking after the game with Robbie Hummel. Like, I don't know if he expected it to go in the way he was talking about the shot. Like, I just kind of threw it up there. I'm glad we practiced those off the backboard. But
I thought it was intentional, actually. Did you think it was intentional or not?
I think it was intentional to bank it. I'm not sure he was confident it was going in. The way he responded about it. I think he was prepared to like go back up and tip it after it kind of fell off the rim or something, is the way that I took it with how he talked about it.
You know what the unheralded, underappreciated stat is in that 3-point percentage you gave is the attempts. The Pacers took more threes than Boston, which is very surprising. Very, very surprising, which, could be because of the Pacers, dogged intent to get up wide open threes, or it could be because the Celtics were getting to the rim at will all the time, every time, no matter who was on the floor. Yeah, it could be that, but we're taking wins wherever we can get them in this season from hell.
So if they were, their 2-point percentage would have been, they were 31 for 58, 53. So very, very good. It's like close to 60. So
the Celtics shot chart looks like speckled green dots right at the rim and red everywhere else.
Yeah, if you just take out, I mean, honestly, other than Derek White, like Derek White going 7 for 21, like that kind of killed them, especially with no Jaylen Brown. That was their efficiency. A very fun game. Like, even though it was 98-96, like I enjoyed this game a ton. This was my first time like really watching a Peacock broadcast, and I really liked the 3-man booth, but like separating it was like excellent. Is Robbie Hummel and Brian Scalabrine, like, were they just there because they're like de facto team experts, even though Robbie Hummel's not like around the Pacers?
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Like, I really liked that. Like, I thought it was great. Like, you get kind of a little Homerish perspective on both sides. And
you get Michael Grady.
So we got Michael Grady, who's always a win to listen to Michael Grady. I really enjoyed that broadcast. I like the uniqueness of having the 2 color commentators, but then be like near the team's benches and getting that perspective that the sideline reporters usually get, but adding that just straight into the broadcast. Really, really liked all of the Peacock of the broadcast. I watched it on NBC Sports Network, but it was the same thing, I'm sure, that they showed on Peacock.
Yeah, loved it. I thought it was great. Glad that we get to talk about Pascal Siakam bailing the team out instead of Andrew Nemhard choking it away. Definitely happy that gets to be the story of the game. And it was a super fun game. I agree. The whole third quarter without fouls, and then into a minute of the fourth quarter without any fouls. I mean, the intensity was pretty good for a regular season game, I thought. And like the Celtics didn't just roll over without Jaylen Brown. Peyton Pritchard was like on a mission to get to the rim. He was attacking everywhere. Jordan Walsh is playing hard all over the floor. Kada, obviously, and Garza. I mean, Garza set a hellacious screen on Aaron Nesmith. Totally legal screen, just flattened him. They went for it. They were trying to win, obviously, and it was fun to I was feeling myself get a little bit more into the game than I have been in a lot of other close games earlier in the year.
It's really nice to enjoy the team and them playing well. 3 straight games where it's like really been enjoyable to watch them. Like even if they wouldn't have like come out on top in this game, like still a lot of good things that we could have talked about. But yeah, winning streak, like, and they're still like right where they should be in the standings. Honestly, um, I don't know. Like, is there a point where you don't want the winning streak to continue? Like, are they so far down in the standings that you just don't
I'm calling timeout on this part of the conversation
Okay, that's fair.
because I want to enjoy
Enjoy
which of Jay Huff's backwards dunks was your favorite?
Oh my gosh. Yes, we spent too long without talking about Jay Huff. He finished with 20 points, the backwards dunks. I think just Tyrese's reaction to the first one where he pump fakes, then drives down the lane and then twists his arm as he twists his body and dunks it behind it. Like the announcers loved it. Tyrese gave it the WTF after the timeout. Like phenomenal stuff. Like you brought up early in the year, like one of his backwards dunks is just like completely unnecessary. And when Robbie Hummel asked him about like, why do you like reverse dunks so much? And he was just like, I don't really have a good answer. They're just fun. And I don't think fun is unnecessary, Kyle. Did you think dunk was unnecessary?
These are not exclusive categories. A backwards dunk can be both completely unnecessary, and that can be what makes it so fun. I think Caitlin Cooper aptly called that first one linguini arms. Great take. He does look like spaghetti. Arms are very long, very unnaturally long.
She's always great at the analogies, but often with the pasta ones, because she's done that with Pascal as well. I feel like with some of the way that he slithers through. I feel like she's done something with a noodle or something. I don't know. I've definitely heard other pasta things from Caitlin. Who's like incredible all the time, but especially with her analogies, both written and in podcast form. But
it's interesting to think what kind of pasta Pascal Siakam's offensive game is most similar to. Maybe Farfalli, bow ties. Just kind of slips in and out in all these ways you don't expect. Okay, I liked maybe the third. The first one was very fun. The second one came off a great pass from Andrew Nembhard,
he had some awesome passes tonight,
which was fun. Poor Andrew Nembhard gets no double-double despite being at 9 assists for like 15 minutes of game time, and his teammates missing literally every single open shot. He passed them to in the fourth quarter. Maybe that's why he started trying to play hero ball, because he was like, oh, well, since nobody's going to make shots when I pass them the ball, I have to try
take it.
To make every shot myself. Overcorrection. Also, he got a couple end of shot clock, like I think 2 end of shot clock grenades there that were not his fault.
Yeah, one late where he got it with like 6 seconds left and he had to just force something up there. And when he got blocked at the rim, that was that possession, right? And then, yeah, the other one where he definitely was hero ball, where like he has Jarris to the side and he's open, which honestly I get why you're not always trustful of what Jarris is going to do if you give him the ball. But he like waved him off and then just like mid-range 2 pull up after some dribbles that did not go in. So definitely saw some of those hero type trying. Somebody's got to score. Somebody's got to try to make a shot things from Nembhard. But I really loved his passing, especially in the first half. Like I think he had 7 of his assists in the first half. And I thought he was just kind of picking the defense apart a lot of the time, like really patient, like looking at one thing, but then finding a shooter on the other end of the court. He hit Jay Huff on like a not easy pass towards the rim on a roll on one possession. I really liked Andrew Nembhard's facilitating. I know it took him a little while to make any shots. I think in the third quarter was probably almost all of his makes in this game. But I really liked how Drew's played and how he's been playing really for a while now.
Shout out to, I'm not sure we're going to talk about him again, so I want to get a quick shout out to Johnny Furphy's pocket passing and rebounding in this game. I felt like personally we should have had another appearance of the Furphy small ball 5. Didn't get that. We got Tony Bradley.
Even the announcers were like, why are they going to Tony Bradley right now?
And Tony Bradley, look, he came in and he didn't look terrible. He got his hands in the way of the ball on defense. That is the kind of decision, a brief moment of criticism here. That is the kind of decision I'm going to criticize. He's on a 10-day. He's not even on the team anymore in a permanent capacity. We have acknowledged that he is probably almost certainly not contributing to winning basketball next year. We've had some positive forays into the Furphy forest of him at the 5.
Furphy forest.
I would like to see it. I'd like to see him in those situations. We didn't get it. In this game, I know that the rebounding is a concern. I texted you about this during the game, but they can switch everything. And surely, how many times does Peyton Pritchard just have to blow by Micah Potter for you to start switching? Evidently too many.
Yeah,
but anyway, wanted to shout out Furphy for a pocket pass. Haven't seen many pocket passes and the rebounds.
Yeah, we don't really get to see Furphy run those kind of pick and rolls much. Maybe that's something we want to see him have the opportunity to do a little bit more, just to experiment, see what he can do. That's what this year's for.
Ball handling needs to improve. He had that one play where he's dribbling the ball up the floor in semi transition or off a miss maybe with a couple guys around him, and it was you could see from a mile away that he was going to turn the ball over, and indeed he did. The handle not quite there in the way it needs to be. But yeah,
I completely agree with you that they made the right decision of not going back to Micah Potter.
Horrible game for him.
He did not play well. The Celtics picked on him every opportunity they could. I talked about on Twitter, the first 3 quarters, it was the start of the quarter was awesome. The Pacers would build out a nice lead, and then players would come in or whoever was finishing the quarter, and then the Celtics would push it all the way back in their favor in the first 2 quarters, and then almost wiped away a whole 10 to 12 point lead, whatever the Pacers got it up to in the third, and they were only up by 2 at the end of that quarter, which they had played great up until there was about 3 minutes left in that one too. And it was almost the same thing in the fourth. But they were able to finish it and win the game. I think Carlisle would have liked to just put in Huff and just play him the last 7 minutes, but I think the conditioning is probably still, they just can't trust that they can keep him out there for that long of a stretch without him needing a rest. So yes, we are definitely in a better part of hell. I can't take it out yet. I think it's going to need more. And we're in such a dark time in terms of where they are in the standings that it's just going to be real hard to get out of hell with the hole that they've put themselves in this year.
Half game up on New Orleans. Wow. No longer the worst team in the NBA. That is startling.
They're ahead of the Kings too, right? Or did the Kings win?
No, they're not ahead of the Kings. But if the Kings lose, which the Kings are playing right now, then they will be tied with the Kings.
Oh, I must have just misremembered that. Okay. Did the Pelicans only have 8 wins? I thought somebody still had 8 wins.
Have 9 wins.
Oh, man, I am just completely off then. I thought one of the 2 teams still had 8.
Nope, everybody's at 9.
All right, I missed an important tank win. Okay, completely lost my train of thought there.
Let's go awards.
Let's go awards. Let's do it. It's going to sound dark, even though they're on a winning streak. All right. The fire's back because I couldn't take off the fire from the overlay with the award. They're both together for this, so the fire's back for this section. The TJ Awards in honor of the Pacers having every TJ that's ever played in the NBA, as well as some secret TJs that are currently on the roster, like Tyrese John Halliburton. This first award is the Mr. Pacer Award. I'm going to give it to Jay Huff today. Yes, I don't care. I don't care what you say. I haven't
Game-winning baskets mean nothing to you. Nothing.
I'm giving you a layup here, Kyle. I just want to talk about Jay Huff.
I'll settle for a bank shot, but you can have Jay Huff first.
He was incredibly fun. We talked about all of the terrific moments. The threes were going in. Great to see. And then we had the reverse dunks. We got all the hits from Jay Huff. We got a block at the rim in the first half. I think the other dunk you were going to talk about, but we didn't, like where he just caught the ball with his back towards the basket and just went behind his head. Enjoyed that one a lot. He's a fun player. Like when things are going right, and like he seems to go on these little mini runs, like when things are going well, where he hits a couple threes, and then that opens up things for him where he can pump fake and then drive towards the rim and have his linguini arms twist in a dunk. So yes, despite a game winner, Pascal gets plenty of these. I'm going to give it to Jay Huff, and you can have the layup and go ahead, nominate your boy.
Pascal apparently does get, you said he does get many of these. I mean, this is his second game winner, so I suppose he's racking up the game winners too. Obviously, the player of the game is the player who won them the game. I don't know what we're doing here. He was 10 for 13 on shots below the free throw line, a menace at the rim. I mean, this is like one of those Pascal Siakam games where I like looked at his stats at one point and I was like, he has 17 points. Because he was just so steady. Andrew Nembhard, who we talked about earlier, first quarter missed every shot. Second quarter missed every shot. Third quarter made every shot. Fourth quarter 1 for 6. And he's, in this kind of game, he's asked to be the Pacers' second best player. And Siakam is just so consistent. I really don't know how else to make the case other than to say he won them the game, Derek.
He's very good. I told you I was giving you a layup. I just wanted to talk about Jay Huff some more. He was plus 20 in this game, a team high.
Wow.
All right.
Okay.
You giving the next award, or am I?
Why don't you take it?
All right. For my other TJ award today, I am going to do the TJ McConnell Award, and I'm going to nominate Quentin Jackson.
Yeah.
That one play, and it ended up just being a jump ball. Like Pacers didn't even get possession on the play. Did they win the jump ball? I don't even remember.
No, he lost that.
That's what I thought. So, but I just loved his energy. I thought it was fantastic. Like him smacking that ball away from, I think it was Simons. Is that correct? Or was it White? Simons. So then, he smacked the ball away, hustled, almost got the ball there, but at least he like dove on the floor, caused enough confusion to where the refs didn't know if either of them ever touched it, which neither of them ever did. It was just off cue the whole time. Ends up being a jump ball. He hit that big three in the fourth, which was not a TJ thing, but big moment. Hit his first 3 shots. Stayed in the game a little bit too long, probably in that fourth quarter. Pacers could have gone elsewhere. I think he was still in with like 4.5 minutes left, but he played really well. Some important moments, and when you only win by 2, every shot was needed, Kyle, not just the last one.
He would have been my nominee for this too. Like I think of this award as like hustle and competitive fire, and he brought those things tonight, which I definitely loved. I think he wins this award. Second place, I'm kind of torn between probably Shepard and Nesmith here.
Always candidates for this award.
Yeah, always candidates for this award. I think I'll go Shep. There isn't really like one play specifically. And on defense, he wasn't always always staying in front of his man, but he was a lot of the time. And he brought a level of fight on the defensive side of the ball that I think was pretty important in this game. I thought he was rotating and hustling pretty well all over the floor. He made TJ like curled around. It was catch and shoot, so not TJ like, but the location of that, the curl around, rise and fire two out of an inbound. Love to see that from
nice
Shep.
little play. I was like, you don't see those kind of plays often now, where the plays off screens to get like the mid range two that you would see Reggie do from like out of a floppy set, where they're running off the screens on either direction instead of going to the 3-point line. It's for a mid two, but yeah, I enjoyed that little 2-pointer from Shep, especially on baselines out of bounds play. Why not? Yep, perfect.
Yeah, it was wide open. I mean, it's a good shot. And Shep has been, to his credit, I mean, just you can't ignore the fact that he started the season, 0 for 17 or whatever. But it almost makes you wonder if, given how strongly things have turned around for his shooting, I'm almost wondering if something was wrong with him. I mean, it could have just been a mental thing, to be honest. But
he started the year injured, correct? So like it.
Well, he played at the very at like his I'm talking about his first, when he first.
Gotcha. It's impossible to keep track of the injuries. I thought maybe he was one of the guys that was initially out, but no, he wasn't, because we saw him driving more.
I didn't think so.
He was also just playing out of position a lot early on.
Yeah,
because like he had to play a lot of point guard when they had no point guards.
Yeah. So I'll nominate him for this award.
A worthy choice. All right, what's yours?
This is tough. I mean, I'm gonna give. This is a weird decision for me to go with the Tony Bradley Jr. sort of unheralded stability award. I'm gonna be specific. I'm gonna cheat a little bit on this award. I'm going to give it to specifically, and it's probably heralded. We need like an awardee in between like feisty competitor and unheralded stability. Andrew Nembhard's playmaking in this game was sublime. For like 98% of the game. And on, like he has one end of game turnover where nobody runs to the corner. And he was kind of in traffic, but I also kind of think someone should have been there.
Somebody to be there. Yeah.
I think that was an understandable one of his 3 turnovers. Regardless, I'm going to look up his potential assists tomorrow because I'm a dork. And I think it's going to be like 22 because he was making passes that led to buckets and he was making passes that led to bricks. But the whole game, he just really, again, as a playmaker, he really was like greasing the wheels of the offense. And when the offense got bogged down, it was actually because he was trying to play hero ball. Like it's, in this way, he's kind of maybe more deserving of his fourth quarter was deserving of the TJ Warren Award because he was getting shots up. So I'm kind of cheating a little bit and picking a skill as opposed to an entire player. But I just wanted to shout out Andrew Nembhard's passing and playmaking.
All right. Well, last time I tried to give in memoriam to Tony Bradley, and then you were like, "What are you doing? He didn't even play." I'm not going to give it to him tonight.
If you gave him the award tonight, I would be upset.
He is back on the team on a 10-day. We'll see if that continues. Like he might get another 10-day after this, and then they might sign him for the rest of the season. Though I feel like I'd be surprised if they. It seems like they made that choice already with choosing Potter over him, and with Ajax like getting into basketball shape now. Seems like we're probably on the end of the Tony Bradley experience. I'm glad he is back on the team and had at least that nice first half on his birthday, on his first day on the 10-day. Who am I going to give my nomination to for this award? If I can like make up a reason to give it to somebody we haven't talked about. I'm not going to give this for unheralded stability, certainly not, but I am going to give it in terms of exceeding low expectations, Jarris Walker had some positive moments. We're seeing some, like, that wasn't all perfect. We all know it was not perfect tonight. The backing down against Peyton Pritchard, love that he wanted to do that, but then Peyton Pritchard just like put his arm out and he did not move him at all. Not great. And then he threw a pass out of it straight into Kata's hands. But you take that play out and a couple others, and there was a lot of good things that I really liked about Jarris Walker's game tonight. It's very important that he is hitting those threes, because if he's not hitting those threes and the other things are still off kilter for him, then it's really hard to see like why he's on the floor. So I'm really glad that he's like found his shooting stroke after he was in a very, very long drought to start the season. 3 for 5 from deep in this game. I really like how his passing has looked. He had that great pass to Pascal where
Very
on the
good
short
pass.
roll, like I would really like to see him have more opportunities in the short roll situation. Like I think that's where his passing can really stand out. But he like had a guy in the corner, he faked that, got it right to Pascal for an easy bucket. He had another pass that was a hockey assist that I think hit, like he threw it inside to TJ and TJ hit somebody in the corner. I can't remember who off the top of my head. But somebody made a three out of that play. I really liked how Jarris played overall tonight. I thought he did a great job on the glass too. Like he was
Yes.
energetic and like boxing guys out and fighting for rebounds. Like he gave up one to Garza, but like understandable, but he's still like fighting for it and he's being physical. He's not being scared of the contact in those moments. So good to see. I enjoyed his like little feistiness, like when the Celtics tried putting Luka Garza on him in the second half and Jarris hit a couple 3-pointers out of that matchup. And Scalabrine even said like he was talking to the Celtics after he hit the second three. He was like, he can't guard me. What are you trying to do? Which that's good. It's good to see Jarris has that level of confidence, because it did not feel like he had any confidence for a long time in the really struggling stretch of the season for him. So just as a way, we haven't talked about Jarris at all tonight. So I'll nominate him for exceeding some low expectations that he created for himself by playing very poorly to start the year.
I think that's a good pick. He was probably my second pick for this award. And again, it wasn't perfect, but on the whole, like you came out on the plus side.
I'm enjoying Jarris again, which is great news.
Now let's talk about Jarris in another context. Trades.
What a segue. Okay, our final segment tonight, we are going to come up with some different trade ideas for centers, things that maybe the Pacers should consider. If I can find a thing that doesn't have Tony Bradley's face on it. There we go. So we're going to talk about a few different trade ideas. Hopefully we didn't come up with, I guess if we came up with the same ones, maybe that's a solid sign. But I'll let you give your first fake trade idea. If you have any in the chat, you want to share some with us, or a certain player you would like to see the Pacers target, feel free. But I'll let you go ahead. What was your first idea?
Your prompt was to think of trades for centers, and I have an agenda here, and we're gonna start with my agenda. Okay, this is the agenda, because I need everyone to understand how difficult trading for a good center is right now. Let me make a trade. I went to Spotrack's trade machine, which takes into account all the aprons and rules and things that I don't keep track of. Okay. And I tried to trade for Bam Adebayo, who makes about the same amount of money, coincidentally, as Jaren Jackson Jr., who may be on the trade block, as reported today. However, because Jaren can't be traded until tomorrow, I couldn't confirm that the things that I did for Bam were the same, but we're going to assume it's about the same. Here's what it takes to get Bam Adebayo on the Pacers: Andrew Nembhard, Obi Toppin, Jarris Walker. 3 players. Or If you don't want to trade Andrew Nemhard, that's like out of bounds. And by the way, we're probably throwing a pick
I
at
think
Miami in that first trade.
Rick is trying to choke you from a distance right now.
Don't worry, we can trade. The fans can come for me instead as we trade T.J. McConnell, Obi Toppin, Jarris Walker, Ben Shepherd, and picks. 4 players to get 1.
Why are we?
4.
Why are we?
Let me make my. This is the agenda. I have come to you with trades that check off the trade machine. The trade machine is green when I put these names in. No, we are not doing 4-for-1 trades. No way. And no way are we throwing in TJ McConnell and Andrew Nemhard when we have Tyrese Haliburton coming off an Achilles tear. Crazy. The Pacers' ability to trade, even I tried Hartenstein trades. Anyone who makes $25 million or more, you may as well just, in your mind, look, you want to trade for somebody, look them up. How much money do they make? Is it $25 million or more? No, we're not going to get them. Just say no. Just set them aside and put them out of your mind, because that $25 million number, it's not going to happen.
And we've talked about this before, and this is the real problem with losing Miles Turner for nothing. Like, even if you're a guy who thinks Miles wasn't going to be the answer long term for this team at center, it's very unfortunate that they don't have that salary slot, that 22 to 27 million, whatever they could have ended up at if they were able to find a deal in order to upgrade at the center position, if that's what they decided to do.
Yeah, in the alternative world, it's like Ben Mathurin and Miles Turner and a pick for Bam Adebayo. And
instead of all of this other stuff.
And you know what? That's like, we've now outlined a plausible deal.
Yeah. Like, yeah, and Obi's number at that 14 is like needed for a lot of these trades to happen. And I really don't want to see Obi Toppin leave this team. We already know Kevin Pritchard really doesn't want to trade TJ McConnell. Like, somebody tweeted the Sidery, like, who's always just like spouting off nonsense, but Kevin Pritchard responded to him, some of his nonsense, basically just laughing at the idea of another team like successfully getting TJ McConnell off of the Pacers roster. Like, they're not looking to like include him in a deal to make salaries work, like, in the slightest. I wouldn't expect. Yeah, and
right, so let me give you a real
trade.
Trade.
Yeah, give us a real one.
Let me give you a real trade, and you can grade this one.
Okay.
Because we're gonna go for like Pacers fan target number 1, Ivica Zubac, who makes under $20 million a year, so a trade is possible. Here is, I think it's painful, but I think both sides would do this maybe. Ivica Zubac for Ben Mathurin, Jarris Walker, the 2027 pick, top 4 protected, and a 2028 swap.
I don't hate it. I don't hate that one. Like, you had previously, when we had talked about Zubac, you had advocated possibly forgiving this year's pick. And if this year's pick is on the table, I am out.
Well, I said 2027 top 4 protected.
You said 2027 top 4 protected. I'll give that I still don't love the idea of giving up both Ben and Jarris, but there's obviously lots of flaws in both of those players at this point. So who knows in terms of the Clippers whether it's enough. Like, they're playing much better now too, so they're probably not looking to give up Zubac. But I'd still that's a trade that you could probably stomach for a very good player at center. So that's a solid offer. I would say that's a solid B.
Good. I think B's, first of all, obviously B's get degrees, but also if both I think the Clippers, who really need they're an old team, draft picks are good for them. I think they're certainly getting that 2027 pick from us. Even if the Pacers have a bad year, I mean, it'll be like around the end of the lottery, or like 15th, 16th, 17th.
If the Pacers are in the top 4 next year, I'm gonna be not doing well.
Yeah, in the future, Derek, I'm gonna pitch to you a piece on how players have recovered or not recovered from Achilles ruptures, and one of the most consistent findings is in the first year back after the Achilles rupture, games played goes off a cliff, and it actually recovers pretty well, but the worst year is the first one. If people stay in the league. But yeah, Dan is spot on. I tried pretty hard to come up with. I have 2 trades that I like. I named the first one, but the second one is my quiet sneaky target. I tweeted about him earlier today.
Oh, I didn't see it. So
good. A player who I've been.
We'll see if we came up with the same person or not. I also agree with you, Dan. Like especially with Matherin's number only being 9 million and him being the most likely guy that they could maybe find some value in, and like be like he might want a different situation. Yeah, like finding a trade for him in the summer, if you find the team that's willing to pay him, and then you can use that new salary in a sign-in trade, and you can get more back in that situation. That's potentially the better option. But yeah, we're doing this as an exercise to see what would be possible, since we got the report from Michael Scotto, who is a reliable reporter, is always like breaking the smaller reporting news that like Shams isn't bothering with a lot of the times. Like Scotto's all over that. He's close to the Pacers. He followed the coaching staff for an article that he wrote last year. So we're just going through this and trying to come up with some kind of ideas of what trades could look like. All right, I'll give one of mine. Okongwu is my target.
Oh no!
Is that yours too? Well, this will be interesting to see if we like what value.
All right, this is my guy. Onyeka Okongwu is my guy.
This was the only one that I liked.
I've loved him. I haven't watched him much this year, admittedly, but in the past, I've really enjoyed the Onyeka Okongwu experience. All right, what's your trade?
And like you, his contract's only at 15 million, correct? So very much in the range of being able to trade for him right now. My clumping together the salary would be Ben Mathurin and Isaiah Jackson.
Deal.
and then the Pacers are also including a first in this trade, is what I came up with, which makes it tougher. But I like maybe top 10 protected. I don't know. Like what's the value range where it makes sense on both sides? Because like the Hawks have they'll be in a center crunch at that point too.
No, they're trading for Anthony Davis, obviously. And he's always available and ready.
Always available. They don't need any centers other than that.
Porzingis. They don't have a center problem at all.
He does have Porzingis as a free agent this summer, I believe. So it does leave questions in the future for them. But yeah, I'm thinking I don't know, a 2028.
Why are we sending a pick?
Yeah, if you don't think we need to, I just don't. I don't know if it's enough. I don't know if they're believers in Ben Mathurin.
I'm not going to complain if the Pacers are trading lottery protected firsts. No complaints from me. So if you feel like, and like I said, I have not watched enough Onyeka Okongwu this year to feel confident about his level of play. Isaiah Jackson, frankly, is kind of salary filler here, and Hawks need center. And the deal is really more like Mathurin for Okongwu in terms of talent. And I
couldn't decide on the pick. I couldn't decide. I
thought it was pretty fair straight up, but like I said, if what you're coming back with is 2027 lottery protected first, I'm not gonna complain.
What was your for Okongwu?
Ben Mathurin and Isaiah Jackson.
The same thing. The salaries just line up very well.
Yeah, the salaries line up very well.
16 million to 15, I believe. So
Yep, and all the trades that I tried, I tried to keep the Pacers under the tax, obviously, because
that
they are
changes
not.
everything and makes everything very much more complicated too once they're over that tax line. So yeah, I did the
Yep.
same.
All right, 1 for 1. Give me your second trade.
Okay, I cheated on this one because I said a center. One of the centers listed was Misi on the Pelicans. The
Okay.
only way that I could want to trade for Misi was if it involved Trey Murphy. So really, I just sneaked in a Trey Murphy trade. So, but this is like Trey Murphy makes 25 million. And if I'm going to give up a bunch of players, like I want a guy like Trey Murphy. I don't just want a center, honestly. So this is what I would give up. And um, for Trey Murphy and Misi, I would give up. This is when I would be willing to let go of Obi Toppin. And then the typical candidates that we're seeing in these trades, Benedict Mathurin, Jarris Walker, and 3 first-round picks is what I would give up to get Trey Murphy on this roster. I would honestly, if I would give up more. I would not give up the 2026, but then I'd do like 27,
28.
29, 31.
What are we talking about? Swaps, protections? Give me some.
If you give up that many, you can't really protect. I guess you could protect like the first one, and then if it doesn't become in, then it would carry over. So if it was lottery protected or whatever the first year in 27, you would have to push that pick to 28, and then it would be 28, 30, 32. So if you add protections, then it just complicates everything else about potential trades in the future. So I'm just going unprotected and I'm getting him on the roster. Dan Burton, greatly appreciate you becoming a member on the roster. That's amazing. Thank you so much.
I am passing on your deal.
Passing on Trey Murphy.
Yeah, I'm passing.
Just think of this
first,
roster plus the 20. Man,
I'm of course willing to trade unprotected. I've expressed reticence so far to trade picks. I'm very willing to trade picks for Trey Murphy. Trading picks for Trey Murphy is like making a bet. You have seen him in a very bad context, and you're saying, I think he can be this other thing, this much better, like near all-star thing in a new place. 3 picks for me is like you are an all NBA player. 2 picks a little is closer to where I'm listening. At 2 picks, we're having a conversation. 3, I'm sorry, he's just not good enough.
I think you're underrating Trey Murphy.
Obviously Rudy Gobert is worth that much and even more, but Trey Murphy, I mean.
Okay, so your next trade for Rudy Gobert.
Listen, Rudy Gobert is an underrated player.
He's good.
Who I would not trade for.
I don't think the Wolves would want to trade him anyway.
I would not trade for him. It crossed my mind earlier today. Trade candidate. Didn't put this in the trade machine, but given the salary situation, it's admittedly I set a $25 million mark, and this breaks the rule. You know who one of the most Ringer today had an article, the least improved players in the NBA? Evan Mobley, least improved.
Ooh.
What level of player has to be available for you to think about Pascal Siakam?
Oh God, there's no, I wouldn't. I can't.
Giannis demands a trade. Surely
to the Pacers. That's where he wants to go. It's like, I really like that John Halliburton guy. I want him cheering for me.
If you can't beat him, join him. Follow the KD mold.
Oh my gosh.
Evan Mobley not good enough for you to have Pascal Siakam in a deal.
I mean, I probably should consider it. I don't know. Like what else is the trade in this situation?
What else is the trade? Like, I mean, first of all, straight up, this works. I believe.
Yeah, but like the Cavs would be like obviously getting much older in that deal.
The Cavs are getting much older, but I think it's possible the Cavs are making moves at the deadline anyway. Anyway, this is not a. This is
You're getting spicy. I think if they're going to trade a center, it's going to be Allen.
I know this is why I'm trying to think like the we all thought it was when I saw the notification years ago, Domantas Sabonis, Jeremy Lamb. I thought that I was going to open my phone and see De'Aaron Fox. That is the name that I thought I was going to see at the end of that message. And it was not, which is why, in the same vein, I'm thinking people think it might be Jared Allen, but
if only it was the Sacramento Cavs, I think they might have a shot at making that deal. But it's not the Sacramento Cavs.
Worst organization in. Ooh, are they the worst organization in professional sports in America? I don't know. The A's exist. It's tough to say. My last trade that we was one that we already did. So the other thing that crossed my mind today, one of my friends is a big Denver Nuggets fan. You know who the player of the week in the Western Conference was, Derek?
I do not. I have no idea who won player of the week.
Well, Scotty Barnes won in the East. Toronto winning some exciting games, not tonight. In the West, it was Peyton Watson of the Denver Nuggets, who is, like Ben Mathurin, about to enter restricted free agency and could be commanding, in the what might have been like mid-level exception money, maybe has doubled to around Ben Mathurin money. Now, if the Nuggets are not willing to pay Peyton Watson, probably they're not willing to pay Ben Mathurin. But I began to wonder, Jarris Walker, if they're trying to be cheap, Johnny Furphy, we just make a quick deal for the Western Conference Player of the Week, get him over on our side.
How am I going to be hydrated? How am I going to be hydrated if you trade away Furphy? I'm finally hydrated. He's starting. He's playing great. He's having center minutes.
Right, but
now you're just shipping him away, sending me to the desert.
If Denver is trying to save money, we need to take advantage of this. I can't even imagine having the MVP of the league on my team and trying to save money. Insane behavior. Nevertheless, if they're going to be that crazy, fleece them. Get like a young player. I mean, I'm like, come on. Oh, they don't want to pay him. We will. That's fine.
We already owe Pascal Siakam to them for being cheap because that's why they were able to get. Well, they couldn't even offer Bruce Brown that amount of money if they wanted to, but they didn't want to because they've been kind of cutting corners with their depth for a while by not paying guys. So, and this is a great question. Like, what is Ben Mathurin money is a mystery.
I have a number in my mind.
Like this summer.
Yeah, I have a number in my mind.
I feel like he wants at least 25 million as my guess for what he wants. What he's going to get is another thing. I like a restricted free agency, especially if things don't go better for him over the rest of the season. Hopefully, I don't know what the deal is with the thumb sprain, but like it feels like things need to go much better for him over the rest of the season for him to like see those type of offers from anyone. It's just really hard for a scoring guard that is questionable on defense to get that kind of money these days.
What's your personal, not the most you would offer him or accept? What is your, like, I think average annual value is fill in the blank?
What my opinion of what Mathurin's contract value should be? Is that what you're asking me? That's very hard. If I had, I don't know, probably between like 15 and 20 million a year is what I value him.
You're lower than me.
I honestly would pay him even if I don't think that he's like worth it. I want them to find a deal for Ben Mathurin if they can't like do a sign and trade this summer because they need that salary slot at minimum to make some kind of trade. Like, what's your valuation of what you would pay Ben Mathurin per season?
This is the exact way that I think about this
And that's
question.
fair. That's completely fair.
And I think about this in both ways. Like, first of all, I like Neesmith and Nemhard are better than him,
They
in my
also
opinion.
both got paid. They didn't get paid what they were worth. They got paid the most they could be paid.
That is right. And so this in other words, I think this kind of cuts both ways. Like, what is the like average like fair value for Aaron Neesmith? Probably like 24-ish.
Yep.
Andrew Nemhard probably about the same.
Yep.
So to me, Matherin is like 22 roughly,
So
which
you just
is,
have him slightly lower than
yeah, I
those
have him
two, if
slightly
it was
lower.
fair.
And the truth is, for Dan, Derek, and the rest of the chat, it, I'm not saying that I would match any offer if I were the Pacers, but I would match almost any offer. The tens digit might have to be or the 10 millions digit might have to be a 3 for me to say no, because of what we've just been talking about. It's not even that I am so committed to the version of the team with Ben Matherin on it. It's that in order to make the team better, I need paths to get there. If you don't sign Ben Matherin, then you really don't have financial flexibility to sign free agents, because you're 5 million from the tax, you go from 5 to like 15, and that's like mid-level exception, low mid-level exception money, which is not nothing, but it's not much either. If you have a salary on the team that's like, even if you're matching a $27 million offer sheet, which seems crazy to me, I don't know why a team would do that, but let's say that's what you have to match. Yeah, okay. Then next season, when maybe Jaren Jackson Jr. stays on the Grizzlies all year and they wind up tearing it down in the summer,
It's a lot
maybe
easier
this
to
is
get to that
how
40 million that he
yeah,
makes.
this is how you get to that $38 million number that Jaren has. Maybe they like somehow find a way to get like Hartenstein. I love Isaiah Hartenstein. I love his game. Awesome. I'm a fan. This is how you get to that kind of salary. So for me, no, I mean, I think that he is not as good as Neesmith and Nemhard. I also think those two guys are underpaid. And so like the like mental math kind of works out in this way, but I would
Yes.
be like, again, I am matching like 98% of the offer sheets I can even plausibly imagine seeing.
Yeah. And it's hard for me to see like a crazy offer coming from somewhere, but there might be like a big Ben Matherin believer who loved him coming out of the draft, who saw him score that 27-point game in the NBA finals. Like we've seen him perform at big moments. Like a team could definitely be in love with Ben Matherin.
And he could also come back from injury and get, like it could just be that he's been really banged up the last month. He comes back and he averages 20 points a game the rest of the season.
Yeah. And his situation really through most of his career has reminded me of a lot of Jonathan Kuminga. Like they both have felt like out of place in the great offensive system that they were drafted into. Both like seem to clash with the coach a little bit. Like obviously Ben like wants he said that he wants to be coached hard by Carlisle, but like Carlisle does like he's pulled him quick like many times, and I'm sure that that's had its moments of frustration with Matherin with how competitive he is, and I'm sure he wants to be on the floor as much as possible. But like and I could see it ending up like Kaminga's restricted free agency this summer, where it takes a long time. He doesn't really find any offers on the table. Like maybe the Pacers aren't interested in what anybody's offering in a potential sign in trade. So, and Kaminga got 2 years, 48 million. And I could see that being around the area that the Pacers and Matherin ended up doing. Like maybe it's a little higher than we think his like overall value would be, but it's a shorter term contract.
Mm-hmm.
And they go
Yeah.
from there. And like, even if I think it's 15 to 20 is around what I would value it at, like I would still pay him more if that's what I have to do. Just like you said with the like if it was like really what they were trying to offer Miles. If it was like 3 for 66, then I'm okay with that. Like that sounds like a decent deal. And it like if it doesn't work out, like that's at least a salary slot that they don't have anybody in that range to make a potential trade. Dom
Yeah,
Life, we talked about a Kongwu earlier. We both had almost the exact same trade offer for Onyeka Kongwu. If you go back and catch up with that one later.
big
Um,
believers. Then we can add. See, and that I will say it would be very important to me that we keep Ben Mathurin on the team, so that we have Onyeka Kongwu, OO, and Ben Mathurin, OO, and then they can play together, and that's important. Like when the Pacers played with 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, or 0, 0, 0, 1, 2, and 3 last year,
yep,
with Thomas Bryant and Obi Toppin rounding out a very important numeric top 5.
fantastic.
Um, that's that kind of I enjoy that in basketball, so that's something to consider for me as far as Ben Mathurin goes.
It's a great point. Always enjoy fun stuff like that. I'm kind of surprised that like of all the double zeros out there, that Okongwu isn't one of them with his initials. Like you can just wear your initials on your jersey. Maybe
It's
that's not
true.
maybe that's not appealing to him.
The best the
I
best
still have one
jersey.
more.
Oh, sorry.
I still have one more trade.
Yeah.
It's
Finish
just
your trade.
it's not a like amazing one. Um, but just a small like get a center in the building that you know that you like, and Jalen Smith. I'm trading for Jalen Smith, and
I've thought about this.
it's just a Ben Mathurin, Jalen Smith swap, and then you get a pick from the Bulls. So you get a first coming in
Hmm.
from the Bulls. How do you feel about that?
It would probably depend on the specific like details of the first.
Yeah, I didn't look to see what first the Bulls have. So that is the question. It feels like a Bulls pick, no matter what, is going to end up between 10 and 14.
Yeah.
So maybe you get some light protections from the Bulls. Um, but I feel like if it's like heavily lottery protected, it's basically worthless because you feel like they're going to fall in the play-in every year. I don't know. I was thinking just like either their current 2026 first or a 27 or 28, but I didn't look up there. I didn't do my good research and make sure I knew what their draft picks were available at the moment.
What about the hilarious Isaiah Jackson for Jalen Smith trade?
Would be funny. It would be funny. And you could see that, like, yeah.
I believe that works.
It probably does because it's like 7 and 9. Like
Uh-huh.
that should be about close
I guess
enough.
Isaiah has the trade restriction for the next 3 days.
Yeah, he can't be traded until the 15th, like anybody signed this summer. Um, but yeah, I would enjoy Jalen Smith being back, and I think the combination of Smith, Ijax, Huff, I like that as a center by committee approach a lot more than I do without Jalen Smith.
I like Sticks.
I
Yeah,
enjoyed him a lot. So
I enjoy him a lot. Also, the goggles. Other things in basketball that are important to me are accessories. Um, the goggles are very good. I'm pro accessories and pro goggles. So that's a plus. The thing I was going to say earlier, another good comment, like letter, name, or number name combination. In the WNBA here in New York, we have Natasha Cloud, who wears number 9, Cloud 9. It's pretty good.
mm,
Rookie in New Orleans, Jeremiah Fears, 0 Fears. It's
great.
pretty good.
Rakeem Christmas throwback Christmas 25.
Yes. Yes. I love these name number combinations. Along with good accessories. These are important things in a basketball player. Jalen Smith has these things. So trading for him is a positive for me just on aesthetics.
Okay, I did have one person from Blue Sky ask, and this is like he knows that the Wizards would probably not even consider this, but he asked like what level of pick would you be willing to include in a trade for Alex Sarr?
I think if I have a close friend who is a Wizards fan, and I think that if I asked him what level of pick would we need to include for Alex Sarr, I think he would say this year's.
Yeah. Like, and would it have to be like unprotected?
Yeah, yes, it would
That's
be
how he
this
feels. So
year's
it's good to know.
unprotected pick.
Yeah. Like, and that's the thing. Trading for anybody's like, unless it's Tyrese Halliburton, apparently, trading for anybody's like young stud, exciting player who like the franchise is excited about is almost impossible. Like it's almost impossible to get that guy in the first couple years of his career unless it's Tyrese Halliburton, which is just amazing that the Pacers were able to do that.
We also might have ruined it for our future selves by going to the finals. You know, like when you
Yeah.
fleece a team, and for years it's like, oh, at first it's a win-win trade, and then like 3 years later, one team is like literally the
Taylor.
most unwatchable, terrible team in the league, and the other is like just went to Game 7 of the NBA Finals. It's not a win-win trade at all, and the Kings are pathetic. And yeah,
Well, apparently it's just a lose-lose. Just look at the standings. That's the only thing that matters. It's just a lose-lose trade.
goodness.
No,
Yeah, listen. I am not a. There is no way to guarantee a top 3 pick in the NBA draft, and historically, that is where the best players are: 1 to 3, or 1 and 2. It's so hard. It really until the last few years, like when Steph Curry is winning MVP at pick 7, that's like kind of a surprise at the time. So to get to I mean, when Giannis goes back to back, I remember like Woj did like a whole show on like such an unlikely MVP and his backstory and pick 15. That's crazy.
Yep.
And the best player in the world is a second round pick, which has warped everyone's brains. But like the long arc of NBA history is number 1 pick, maybe top 3. There's no way you can get there. For me, it is much more important to see growth and development, even if it comes at the cost of the 5th best lottery odds, than it is to, as opposed to not seeing development and having the number 1 lottery odds. This is my personal view of things, and I accept that not all fans are going to see it that way.
it's fair. The lottery is a nightmare. Thankfully, the Pacers have not had many years where they're just praying and hoping that the lottery falls their way. It did not. Those 2 years that they did somewhat try to fall in the lottery. Maybe it will this year. We'll find out.
Well, I'm out of trade ideas. Do you have any other trade candidates, or
like I had the same problem as you. Like just like any salary that's over that 25 million, like if it's in the 30s, it's just so hard. Like Moonfish, completely agree. Like I don't want to see any of the starters go. I would prefer if TJ stayed, but I don't feel like TJ should be off the table, but I know he is for the front office. Like just honestly. And he's still so valuable to the bench and like incredible player. I do hope that he's with the Pacers for the rest of his career. And like I don't really want to see Obi go either. Like I don't like, so it's hard. It's hard to find a trade, especially with, I love so many of these players. And then like trying to get to a number that's like a really good center is worth and that they make that much money. It's just really hard. It's hard to get up to the salary needed to make a trade. And like you said, like it's hard to find a team too that who's going to be the team that wants to take a chance on Benedict Mathurin.
It's so hard to know what the right thing to do is. We're either, I mean, obviously there's a third option that I'm not going to name, but it feels like, given what has happened to the Pacers, we are either currently living through what is the beginning of a years or decades long curse, or we are living through we are about to live through one of the great sports like comeback stories ever. And I really want to believe that it's the second one. And I really want to believe that it's the guys who got us there the first time that can do it again. Cause that's That's the story. Like, that's what you write it about. It's like, I mean, it's really like a movie. The truth is often that getting to that level in the NBA, when you haven't won before, requires change of some kind. The Warriors obviously got back. The Spurs got knocked down and got back. Those teams had already won titles. And it is it like hurts, but my sense, my guess, my bet, my inclination is that probably to get back we have to do something that's uncomfortable and that kind of hurts.
Like give up 3 unprotected firsts and multiple players for Trey Murphy and make a bet.
And listen, if you want to make the bet on Trey Murphy, I'm
making it. I already made it.
I suppose I see it, but whew, man.
Just watch Trey Murphy highlights and you'll come around.
Trey Murphy's awesome. Love Trey Murphy. I have no hate in my heart for him.
If the Pelicans do trade him, like some team's going to give up at least 3 unprotected first to get him.
Or they're going to trade a better player than you put in the deal.
I think it's going to take 3 first. He only makes $25 million, so like it's going to be hard for like a
1 or 2 is my guess.
All right. I think they'll just keep him if that's all they can get.
Evidently, they're losing enough with him on the roster that it's not going to affect their draft stock.
That organization's just a mess. I don't know. Just get anybody out of there that's like actually good, and I think they'll perform a lot better.
Sad for John Zion.
Sad for Josh. I don't know what the Ja Morant thing. I don't know. Trae Young got basically just traded to clear up the books.
I know.
It's an interesting time in the NBA.
Yeah.
See, look, Tom laughs with me. Trey Murphy fits the culture.
Yeah, this is just like because he's on the young man in the 3, and like
he's funny.
He is funny. Yeah, I like Trey Murphy. You're like taking this the wrong way. I do not want to give
like him enough. You clearly don't like him enough.
Listen, if the Pacers trade for Trey Murphy, I am gonna be probably annoyed at what they give up to get him, and probably I'm gonna be excited for him to play with Tyrese. Come on, I love Trey Murphy's great.
Just Trey Murphy at the 3, Pascal at the 4.
Wrapping up the pod with pure fantasy.
Yes. Just daydreaming. I guess it's the night. Is it just night dreaming, even if I'm not asleep?
It's called dreaming. Yeah, is what that's called. Dreaming.
Oh, yeah. Night dreaming.
The regular dream.
All right. We've gone off the rails completely. Should we just...
Moonfish, by the way, is on my side asking if there's a point when we have to part with Pascal for...
Oh, man. That's so hard.
This is, I think the truth is this is a conversation for next year, for like literally a year from now, because we're going to find out if Tyrese is, 16 months off, sort of sped up the recovery beyond where people miss games and have trouble coming back themselves. And actually he's himself and we don't care. Or, maybe next year he just gets dinged up and struggles, can't play back-to-backs, et cetera, et cetera.
Just talk about making a bet. Like if you made that bet of trading Pascal like now, like, whew, it's saying a lot to your star player coming off an Achilles to trade that guy right now.
I said it's a conversation for a year from now.
I know you did, but you also like just threw out the idea of trading him for Evan Mobley right now. So that was earlier.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to get the timeline back online.
So which is it? Is it a conversation for now or later?
It's mostly a conversation for later, but unlike you, I really, in the world of trades, I don't have there are no untouchables on my, like, people, it's all contextual. Like, if in the world where Giannis demands a trade and does not specify a destination, yeah, of course. I mean, Pascal Siakam is in the trade. First of all, because it's the only way that makes it works, and second of all, because Giannis is the best player in the conference. I don't like. What are we even talking about?
Like the thing is, like Giannis, like is amazing. I also like I don't think it would work as well as it sounds on paper. Like him and Ty, it should be like the best thing, but he like doesn't like to set screens and roll.
What if the Hawks made Jalen Johnson available? They tore it all down.
That would be incredible. Like that would be a very fun pairing of players. But
My point is only that I'm not trading Pascal Siakam for Trey Murphy.
Oh no.
Right. But this is my point. Are there players for whom I would about whom I would trade Andrew Nembhard? Yes. Because like that's how trades work. And I don't it's
just makes
like uncomfortable.
Just makes me sad talking about these guys.
Yeah, of course. But, I mean, I think like this is the tension I was describing before. Like, how do you get to be a really good team? There are elements of consistency and continuity, and there are elements of risk taking. And the Pacers front office, by and large, has not gone on the risk taking path. Trading Domantas Sabonis for Tyrese Halliburton is not a huge risk. They didn't walk out of that room thinking, I hope this works. And often that's what really good front offices are forced to do at a certain point to put themselves in title contention. You just say, I hope this works.
Yeah, we tried not to harp too much on the how long is the winning streak lasting? Does it become a bad thing at a certain point? But it's been very fun to enjoy these wins, and the Pacers still have the highest lottery odds that you can have. So why don't we just take a little spin, and then we'll end the show on a spin instead of starting it with a spin today. Is the lottery giveth or does it taketh away? Let's find out. Yeah, I totally missed the Kings having the 9th win. All right.
It taketh away.
At least
this is a fair outcome, though. I feel okay. This is an outcome that I would live with.
And and like the 5th pick still would be their highest selection.
Yep.
In my life.
Yeah, so, and again, for the sake of justice and world peace, this is an acceptable top 5.
Yeah, like I would not react well in the moment to them unfortunately falling to 5, but yeah, it's especially with the teams that went ahead of them, not the worst case scenario as much as I would desperately want one of those top 3 players to end up in Indiana.
Yeah. All right.
All right. We'll end the show there. Anything else you want to say before we log off?
No.
All right. We'll let you know when the next show will be, and we'll see you next time.